sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense, where I'm back from the dead. And I'm your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is back. And we are at 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's easy. Just go to Facebook, search for SHR Media. It's that simple, folks. Right now, YouTube is still being a bitch and has us down. It seems they don't like us expanding Trump's message. And looks like I haven't had to talk to Sackhead Sean in a while. As everybody knows, I've been sick as a fucking dog. And I have not been here. So, I haven't talked to Sackhead Sean at all, so I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I still have to apologize because it was underneath my show it happened. Fuckers. Hey, let's see what we can get through. I'm looking for a large crystal if anybody can help. One of the staffs that I'm building, walking sticks, is going to turn into a wizard. Ooh, 5-inch. Wizard staff. And I was thinking of putting, like, not real, but, glass, colored glass, crystals on top. I'm having trouble finding the right size. So, yeah. It happens. We'll get to it. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Today is President's Day. Even though our schools were in, it blew away a lot of the adults that they had school today. On President's Day, that's usually a vacation day. I think it was kind of cheap of the district to do that. And kind of un-American. A little notice I just got from a company, and it's just making me laugh because I have another company doing the exact same thing. Let's see. I see. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on with the show. How about it? A military-armed Party of Remain movement launched to stop BritX. A leader of the Renew Britain has described the new anti-BritX party as the military arm of the Remain movement, which will threaten sitting MPs who back BritX. James Clark, one of three principals, said plans to field candidate at the next general election would put pressure on sitting MPs to reconsider their position on BritX. I love how these losers cannot accept that they fucking lost. The left cannot take it. These progressives, little cocksuckers, cannot take losing because they think everything is owed to them. They lost the vote. And what would they be saying if they had won the vote and the BritX movement kept fighting it? They would be pissed off. Now, the funny thing is, Europe has already said, the EU has already said they're out. No, it's done. You're out. They're not going to do the back and forth. You're out. So they could sit there and do whatever they want. You lost the vote. Listen, if you don't like and you want to be part of this grand, progressive, open border slaughter fest, move to France then. Move into the EU. But make sure you go to the hot spots of the Muslims. Make sure you go there. Listen, I really have to rephrase that because I put it. There is the extreme Muslims who just want to cause chaos. They're in all the countries now, but they're expanding. And France has a bad population. Swiss does too. So that's where I mean by that. But some of the anti-BritX pressure groups and movements are very, very much focused on asking people to pressure their local MPs to have a second thought on BritX, Mr. Clark said at the party's launch on Monday morning. What we are is almost the more military arm of that movement, whereas we are actually standing candidates in seats to threaten those MPs that are not changing their minds or are not standing up for their views of their constituents. So they're willing to use threats of violence. They're willing to use threats to change the political climate. Sounds like somewhat's going on in the United States. We have some of that issue. And Britain has it. That's when you use violence and threats and rhetoric. Oh, yeah, that's called a fascist. Everything they keep accusing us of, that's exactly what they're doing. And it's not just here in America. This movement is more than the United States. This sickness, this virus of progressives is not just here in the United States. It is worldwide, and we have to stomp it out. Now, the party is inspired by French President Emmanuel Macron, whatever, a globalist-minded La République en Marche, whatever the fuck, and was set up with support and advice from several French elected representatives from LREM. It's supported and was helped to be set up by French support. The French are trying to overtake Britain's government. History repeating itself. I never thought I'd see that one, though. Its Twitter page boasts that joining Renew Britain will ensure that voters are on the right side of history. I love that they do that over here. Make sure you're on the right side of history, because everybody's like, oh, I don't want to be on the wrong side of history. I don't want to be going down as supporting that. So I'm going to have to. They are trying such childish psychological attacks. Not that I can speak tonight. The voters on the right side of history. And the party will target young people who were not legally able to vote during the referendum because they are underage. Co-founder Sandra, whatever the fuck that is, a former NATO and UN worker, claimed that her interest in working with Renew Britain stemmed from her feeling that post-referendum, the UK was like a war zone. The UK was like, what? Oh my. Talk about drama. Holy shit. It was like a war zone, except there was no war. There was no violence. It was just us throwing a hissy fit because we didn't get our way. And her name is Renew Britain. I think that's what the BritX is doing. They're renewing Britain. You don't want to renew Britain. You want to make it a new country called the European Union. And that they've announced that that's their intention, the European Union, to become one nation, do away with all the nations. And they announced it, and they told you, and they're building an army, the EU army. And shortly after that, I bet you, EU will take over the UN, merge the UN military into the EU. Bet you. Because that is the ultimate goal of the UN nowadays, to have supreme rule over the world. I need some like evil sadistic music going or something. We're here to take over the world. I would play it, but I don't want to get suspended anymore. Or get dinged. Well, I'm not on YouTube anymore. Play Pinky in the Brain. What are you thinking about? All right, let me see if I can find it. Screw it. Oh. Let's see. Here we go. Let's patch it in.
Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Now, this is the EU having a discussion within itself.
Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The pinky, and the brain. Oh, wow, what's this one? I miss it. Oh, God, which one is this one? Wacko.
And their capitals. Okay.
I can't remember. It was Yakko and Wacko or whatever. I can't remember what the hell they're. The Warner Brother. The hell are they called? This is going to bug me. Well, I'll play this and I'll find out who it is.
Here goes. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Columbus is the capital of Ohio. There's Montgomery, Alabama, south of Helena, Montana. Then there's Denver, Colorado, under Boise, Idaho. Texas has Austin, then we go north to Massachusetts, Boston, and Albany, New York. Tallahassee, Florida, and Washington, D.C. Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Nashville, Tennessee. Elvis used to hang out there a lot, you know.
Animaniacs.
Trenton's in New Jersey, north of Jefferson, Missouri. You got Richmond in Virginia, South Dakota has Pierre. Harrisburg's in Pennsylvania, and Augusta's up in Maine. And here is Providence, Rhode Island, next to Dover, Delaware. Concord, New Hampshire, just a quick jaunt to Montpelier, which is up in Vermont. Hartford's in Connecticut, so pretty in the fall. And Kansas has Topeka, Minnesota has St. Paul. Juneau's in Alaska, and there's Lincoln in Nebraska, and it's Raleigh out in North Carolina, and then there's Madison, Wisconsin, and Olympia in Washington, Phoenix, Arizona, and Lansing, Michigan. Here's Honolulu, Hawaii's a joy, Jackson, Mississippi, and Springfield, Illinois, South Carolina with Columbia down the way, and Annapolis and Maryland on Chesapeake Bay. They have wonderful clam chowder. Cheyenne is in Wyoming, and perhaps you make your home in Salt Lake City out in Utah where the buffalo roam. Atlanta's down in Georgia, and there's Bismarck, North Dakota, and you can live in Frankfurt in your old Kentucky home. Salem in Oregon, from there we join. Little Rock in Arkansas, Iowa's got Des Moines, Sacramento, California, Oklahoma and its city, Charleston, West Virginia, and Nevada, Carson City. That's all the capitals there are.
All right. Now I'm sorry I had to do it. Had to do it. Oh, Animaniacs, and was zany to the max. All right, we'll shut that down. So, the Renewal Party head of communication, Sandra, speaks to a journal. Well, damn it, I thought I deleted that. damn it, I need to fire my producer. As I finished working in Georgia for NATO last year, I looked at what conflict zones to go to next, and I decided it had to be Britain, she said. Oh, my God. She also said that she wanted to reach out to BritX voters and let them know that their voting to leave the European Union was not their fault because they did not have enough information going forward to make a decision on the referendum. So, in other words, you didn't know what you were doing. You were wrong. They knew exactly what the fuck they were doing. They knew the information. They wanted to go back to being Britain. They didn't want to go and be a subsidiary of the European Union and having people make rules that you must live by several thousand miles away on a different plot of land. Oh, burpee. Meatball. That's a spicy. And that's exactly what was going on. They did not want a bunch of realistically foreigners, making rules that they had to live by. They had the information in their hand, lady. They didn't need any more. But by the sounds of it, what the hell? I don't know. It just... Okay, the media is now attacking Trump. He did a photo op with one of the victims from the school shooting, and they're attacking him for it. As not only was Obama smiling in one of those same type of pictures, he was hugging a girl and smiling. Now, the picture Trump's in, the girl that's in bed that he went to see, is smiling too. They come up with the dumbest reasons, the dumbest, childish, moronic reasons. And the progressives, they're not even smart enough to try to pull shit over anymore. It's like half-assed. All right, we got to write an article. What do you want to write about? Crap, do you really? All right. Oh, well, he was in a picture here. Yeah, thanks, Mark. A good friend of mine, Mark, rode ambulance with him for years. Says, pussy, even sick people can talk. Not when you're throwing up. Ha. I had the double-decker going on. Oh, my God. So I go back to the doctors tomorrow. That'll be fun. Smart ass. Yeah, it's they knew exactly. And she further went on, this speaker for this anti-Britain bullshit. And our message to them is it's not your fault. There wasn't enough information available about the impact of leaving or the alternate models. What? They knew exactly what was going on. They knew exactly what they were voting for. So she believes that it was... she did not believe the vote to leave EU was about the EU, claiming it was about inequality, unfairness, rich versus poor divide, North versus South divide, and anger at politicians and the government and London. It wasn't about Brussels. What? These people are so fucking delusional. It's almost comical. All right, I'm going to head off to a break. I am going to set you up with the new Money Talks Minute with Melanie. And we're going to get that going. We're going to head to break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Punter Radio, and we will be right back.
Welcome to this week's Money Talk Minute with your business diva, Melanie Collette. This week's talk is how to save for retirement. Number 1, start saving now, and that means today, because money you put in your retirement fund now will have more time to grow. Number 2, Avoid withdrawing money from your retirement fund at all costs. The financial impact of doing so will hurt you many times over. There's a huge penalty and a tax bill on the money you withdraw. 3. Take advantage of the 401k match. This is when your employer contributes money by matching what you put into your retirement account. And that's all for this week's Money Talk Minute. I am your business diva, Melanie Collette. Please remember to listen and watch Money Talk with Melanie Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Western on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Talk Radio, and on Facebook Live. Have a great day.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Good evening. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is featured on the SHR Media Network every Tuesday and Thursday night for 2 hours at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. Whilst manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ continues to radically change the world of leftists, one diaper at a time. Stop balancing your checkbooks. Stop cleaning your fish tanks. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is your magnet for truth, justice, obesity, a darkened studio, and late-night freedom. No United States of America freedoms were abridged in the making of this ad.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians, a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, clues to the clueless. Sackheads Sean, Sackheads Clint, and Sackheads BZ. The Sackheads Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern on shrmedia.com. Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and the High Plains Pundit Network. The best in late-night conservative talk, the Sackheads Radio Show, only on the SHR Media Network.
Go ahead, I'll say it again. Some of the best A-roll is going to be B-roll.
Like, what are you talking about?
The last question that you really cut a couple seconds.
Yeah, I'm a freaking artist. I can't just come up with this shit off the top of my head. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Good point. Exactly right. Oh, God.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever,
because truth is not always pleasant.
This is Sam on SHR Media. You can listen to my new show starting on Tuesdays in January. Get my perspective on national politics, a conservative's perspective on California politics, the latest in the war on terror, all of that and a lot more here on Tuesdays at SHR Media. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Sam_SHR Media.
right, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hey, this is Sackhead Clint, and I'm with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead BZ. No communists allowed on the SHR Media Network.
Damn straight, mister.
Back to the show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense here on the SHR Media Network. Hey, Sean, you ever see a one-eared elephant?
No.
Check this out.
Oh, that's so tiny.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. That's right. Or at least attempt to. Holy shit. Wrong finger. Oh, boy. Where are we? Damn, my fingers are just... My hands are all swollen up still. And that's the other thing, you know, okay, when I get sick, it's the health problems that I have are multiplied. And it's not easy for me to move around at that point. Because whenever I get sick, it seems to, like, attack those joints. I don't know. It is what it is, though. Also, I'm trying to... I got to start an LLC up soon. Between the woodworking I'm doing, and that's the other thing. It was a bitch. Because I backed up with some orders on my woodworking. And I'm expanding out onto what I'm doing within woodworking. I actually was able to, yesterday, I was feeling better, so I did some work. I built my Lichtenberg machine. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Lichtenberg, Lichtenberg, I think it is. And what it is, you're taking high voltage, putting it through wood, and it creates this, like, lightning pattern. And it's a beautiful wood. So I'm going to start creating some of those things, and well, it's right in front of me. In fact, as soon as I get on with the show, I got to do some work in the garage and get that going. Amazingly, my equipment doesn't bother my wife or daughter when they're asleep. So I just got a shipment for pens in, wooden pens. Not that I can speak right now. So I got to get the blanks going on that. And, you know, I got the cutting boards and all the other shit to do. Little odds and ends. I'm doing, like, for ceiling fans, you have that chain hanging down or light at the end of it. Doing little wooden items that attach just to give it a little decorative feel. You know, and just that type of stuff. So I've been having fun. And I've been sick as a fucking dog, but having fun. So yeah, I got to start a company up. Oh, shit. You know, so that's the way it covers me. And plus, the place I'm selling at, or I'm going to be selling at, I have to have a state sales tax license at this flea market. So I'll get all that and get it up and going. It'll be, yeah, I got to do the federal LLC. And then file for everything else. So that's the way it also covers me for the show and stuff. But all right, we're going to get into the shooting. You know, it's brought up a lot of old discussions again. Democrats are trying some new tricks with the same message. They're going to try to get kids to walk out of school unless gun control is enacted. I can't understand how you can sit there and think that putting in more laws is going to stop someone from doing it. I don't understand it. If laws stop people from breaking crimes, number one, murder would cover, making murder illegal, which it is, would cover everything, and we wouldn't need any other fucking laws. The other thing we wouldn't need is police, because nobody would be breaking the laws. No need for the police. So right there, that blows out their theories that, one more law, two more laws, more background checks, more this, more regulations is going to stop him. It's not. Those that know me know that I'm not huge religious. I have my ideology. I believe in what I believe. But one thing I do believe is in this country that, and I blame the left for this, they have worn away our morals, our self-responsibility, and we've taken the religion out of everything. If guns were the problem, we would have had mass shootings back in like the 50s and 60s. When kids would go to school with rifles in their back window of their trucks, because as soon as they got done school, they were going hunting. So they had access to weapons and nothing. It has nothing to do with the weapon. What it has to deal with is the morals. The fact that people don't feel that they are responsible for their own actions. It's always somebody else's fault. It's not anybody else's fault. It's our own fault. Parents are teaching their kids that it's not their fault. It's society's fault. It's someone else's fault. And that is where we have the problems. We have a self-control problem. That is the problem, not guns. But the left is, as usual, demanding gun control, and it has enlisted several students from the school in its cause. And actually, the students, like the rest of America, are divided on the issue. But apparently only the students who support gun control are earning national media headlines and support from politicians and parents. One can understand the desire to do something, anything, to prevent another terrible event. But once again, it is unclear what law or regulation would stop mass shootings. Outlawing assault weapons? Automatic weapons are already largely illegal and are not involved in most mass shooting events. The last assault weapons ban did nothing to stop mass shooting events, including Columbine. How many were killed? How much damage did they do? And didn't use an AR-15. Banning the AR-15, a single-pull, single-shot weapon falsely described as an assault weapon. And it is falsely because I could shoot my gun probably just as fast, if not. I don't want to say faster, but probably the same rate. The weapon fires only as fast as you pull the trigger. Why can't I get in it? This is a bitch. People think the AR-15 is some magical weapon. It's not. It is no better than its cousin, which fires the same rate, but it doesn't have the stock, not bump stock, but adjustable stock. It doesn't have the pistol grip. That fires the same weapon. People are so uneducated on weapons, are talking and wanting to create laws when they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. The Charleston shooter murdered his victims at a church with a handgun. Stephen Wilford, the hero who stopped the Texas church shooting last year, did so with an AR-15 rifle. Gun violence restraining orders. These arose in California after the Ella Vista shooting in 2015 to allow relatives of a troubled person to have police take their guns away. But these orders are only temporary. The Sandy Hook shooter's mother gave him his gun, and in Parkland, the parents who took the killer in had no idea he was so troubled. They told reporters that he had been showing improvement and thought they had locked his guns away. Improved background checks, that might help. Although that solution depends on the ability of the bureaucracy to manage a database properly, which it failed to do in the case of the Texas shooter, who never should have been able to buy a gun. And just as in Parkland, many other mass shooters, including Islamic terrorists, have previously been reported to law enforcement or the FBI, but have either been ignored or have been left alone after a brief inquiry. As Attorney General Jeff Sessions said last week, there were signals and signs before the shooting that, if recognized, could lead to intervention and could have stopped these events from occurring. They're being missed. So what new gun laws or regulations would actually prevent mass shootings? There is one possibility, and the left will not try it, namely allowing teachers to carry guns. How about doing away with gun-free zones? Last year, 5 largely rural California school districts adopted policy to allow teachers with concealed carry permits to bring their weapons on campus so that they could respond to any active shooter situation that might arise, and more likely, deter one from happening. In response, the Democrat-dominated California legislative passed and Governor Jerry Brown signed a law to delete the authority of a school district superintendent, his or her designee or equivalent school authority, to provide written permission for a person to possess a firearm within a school zone. We will never know if the district's policy would have helped stop a shooting, because California Democrats never gave it a chance. And so thanks to Democrats and the media, we are reduced to debating gun laws and regulations that we know would not have prevented the shooting in Parkland and elsewhere. The best is when you say, we just want sensible gun control. Okay, what? Tell me, what kind of gun control are you looking at? You're just about the gun. You don't care. They never want to discuss it because they don't have an answer. They don't have an answer at all. We're going to continue more of this conversation on the other side of the break. And let's see. It would have been nice if I would. I'm going to have to fire this producer I have. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. And we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Good evening. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is featured on the SHR Media Network every Tuesday and Thursday night for 2 hours at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. Whilst manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ continues to radically change the world of leftists, one diaper at a time. Stop balancing your checkbooks. Stop cleaning your fish tanks. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is your magnet for truth, justice, obesity, a darkened studio, and late-night freedom. No United States of America freedoms were abridged in the making of this ad.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians, a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, clues to the clueless. Sackheads Sean, Sackheads Clint, and Sackheads BZ. The Sackheads Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern on shrmedia.com. Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and the High Plains Pundit Network. The best in late-night conservative talk. The Sackheads Radio Show, only on the SHR Media Network.
Go ahead, I'll say it.
Some of the best A-roll is going to be B-roll.
Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
Just the last question that you cut a couple seconds.
Yeah, I'm a freaking artist. I can't just come up with this shit off the top of my head. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Good point. Exactly right. Oh, God.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
This is Sam on SHR Media. You can listen to my new show starting on Tuesdays in January. Get my perspective on national politics, a conservative's perspective on California politics, the latest in the war on terror, all of that and a lot more here on Tuesdays at SHR Media. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Sam_SHR Media.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hey, this is Sackhead Clint, and with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead BZ, no communists allowed on the SHR Media Network.
Damn straight, mister.
Back to the show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening. Contact is the evening.
Now back to Reaver of Common Sense with Jersey Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And I'm back. Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. Oh, boy. This gun thing is... drives me up a wall. You know, the one thing that they're really doing, they're trying to attack the NRA big time. I mean, they are going at the NRA tooth and nail. And it's... I don't think it's fair. But that's good. They have to attack and destroy the NRA so that they can do away with the Second Amendment. And don't let it fool you. That is the ultimate goal. That is the ultimate goal. And it just blows my mind. They got to attack it and demonize it to destroy it so that they can get the Second Amendment away. A Second Amendment out of there. It's ridiculous. It really is. It's childish to think. Childish to think that, and these people are so gullible. Okay, we'll do away with guns. That'll be smart. And guns for hunting. No, guns are for a lot of things. And one of them is to make sure our government does not hang on. I'm just looking at it. Hopefully that. But the NRA chief of staff has come out and spoken. Josh Powell pointed out during the February airing of it's an NRA TV show, that the political class and pro athletes have armed protection. And he asked, why not our children? And his exact statement was, it's time we get serious. We need to get serious about how we're going to protect our kids, the measures that need to be put in place. The awful irony of this is when you look at athletes, celebrities, and political class, all these people have security, and many of them have armed security. So the question is, at what point are we going to get serious enough about protecting our children and give the protection that these other groups get? His point is clear when considering that the high school where the shooting happened had one armed resource officer on duty when the February 14th attack occurred. That means only one good guy with a gun was there to protect a campus of more than 3,000 students. How many pro athlete events are protected by only one armed guard? How many gatherings of political class? How many Golden Globe Award ceremonies? The answer is simple. None. None. The NFL and NBA would not dream of holding an event without layers of armed protection around and within the event. The political class would never entertain a gathering in mass without layer upon layer of armed protection, combined with pre-planned protected means and routes of escape should an attack occur. And Hollywood elites, many of them spend their off-camera minutes bashing the right to keep and bear arms for self-defense, enjoy gathering for award ceremony that are protected by good guys with machine guns, high-capacity magazines, armed transport vehicles, bomb-sniffing dogs, and more. It boggles my mind. Yet more than 3,000 students and their teachers sat in a high school with one armed resource officer in place. It is inhuman demand that educators likewise be sitting ducks. I understand that wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. And anybody that's listened to the show long enough knows my father was shot. And I was talking to him after this incident happened in the days following. And he cannot believe how people think that if someone is going to go to the extreme of shooting up a school, that they won't, that they're going to follow the laws. If they're to that point, they're beyond laws. That's why they are called criminals. But of course, the Big Bang Theory star, she plays, not Amy. Yeah, Amy. Amy Fowler. I can't think of her name right now. But she is asking people to vote against candidates supported by the NRA and use civil disobedience to secure more gun control. She took to social media in the wake of the shooting, urging her fans and fellow celebrities to make it your life's goal to support and vote out every single person who challenges a politician with NRA money behind them. Is she complaining about the money that Bloomberg spends? He spends probably just as much as the NRA. But that's okay. That's fine. I just, something in my head I can't get past. It just, it drives me up a wall when they talk like this. They're okay with someone setting up groups to attack the gun. Sorry, I got shiny keys. $500. Sorry, I apologize for that. It's mind-boggling. And she went on, this is not about media and video games glorifying and encouraging violence. I mean, it is and it's not. It's not about toxic masculinity, although that's something we need to discuss as well. The lack of mental health care for people in this country who need it is astonishing and horrifying, but that's not what's causing these problems right now. Yes, it is. It's not the fucking gun. I've left my gun alone. I've watched it. It didn't go on a shooting spree. Amazing. It just drives me up a wall. I don't know. It just... I don't know. It just seems like common sense has totally gone over their head. Listen, it's that time. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Radio and HP Pundit, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Good evening. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is featured on the SHR Media Network every Tuesday and Thursday night for 2 hours at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. Whilst manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ continues to radically change the world of leftists, one diaper at a time. Stop balancing your checkbooks. Stop cleaning your fish tanks. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is your magnet for truth, justice, obesity, a darkened studio, and late-night freedom. No United States of America freedoms were abridged in the making of this ad.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The Right Guy on SHR Media.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians, a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, clues to the clueless. Sackheads Sean, Sackheads Clint, and Sackheads BZ. The Sackheads Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern on shrmedia.com. Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and the High Plains Pundit Network. The best in late-night conservative talk. The Sackheads Radio Show, only on the SHR Media Network.
Go ahead, I'll say it again.
Some of the best A-roll is going to be people.
Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Just the last question that you cut a couple seconds. Yeah, I'm a freaking artist. I can't just come up with this shit off the top of my head. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Good point. Exactly right.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
This is Sam on SHR Media. You can listen to my new show starting on Tuesdays in January. Get my perspective on national politics, a conservative's perspective on California politics, the latest in the war on terror, all of that and a lot more here on Tuesdays at SHR Media. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Sam_SHR Media.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hey, this is Sackhead Clint, and I'm with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead BZ. No communists allowed on the SHR Media Network.
Damn straight, mister.
Back to the show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Pay no attention to the muffled screams in the background. You are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on the SHR Media Network. Back to you, Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is back. And we're here every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't understand these idiots when it comes to gun control. You know, none of these people, everything that's being suggested, all this sensible gun control, wouldn't have stopped a single fucking shooting. It wouldn't. And something like 97, 98% of these mass shootings happen in a gun-free zone. Let me repeat that. In a gun-free zone. So what does that tell you? My ear itches. What does that tell you? No. Tells you that gun-free zones are the problem. Adam Baldwin, which, you had that chick that plays Amy Fowler. Now you have Adam Baldwin. He put out a tweet, but hours after the horrendous toll in the Florida school shooting on Wednesday became apparent, Hollywood veteran actor Adam Baldwin reacted to gun-grabbing celebrities by calling for school staff members to be armed with guns. And this call is more than reasonable when one considers that the school had, well, this one says 2 armed resource officers. 1 or 2, that's still. Yet a killer was able to infiltrate campus and harm innocent. Armed teachers and staff might have been able to take that out. They knew this kid was going to do it. The teachers, the students, everybody knew he was going to do it. They weren't surprised. But Baldwin tweeted, again, the shooter was stopped by people with firearms. School needs armed security and volunteer staff with CCW. Baldwin makes the point about men with guns stopping the attack because men with guns apprehend the attacker. But the critical point is that the school staff ought not to be required to be sitting ducks. And same as us citizens. You can take ex-vets, they're trained, retired police officers, but the vets especially, a lot of them are looking for work. Bingo, you'd fill the school up. And now you got these guys and women. Hey, BZ, how are you? You got these armed people, if they're vets or ex-officers, and they are there to talk, there to be nice. That's what we should be doing. And having more than 1 or 2. Now, where my daughter goes to school, she has 1 police officer at school walking around. Her school is 1 entrance, unless you jump the fence. But there's cameras all over the place and some high fences in the majority of the area. If you want in, you need to go through the office. Guess who's sitting not far from the office? The last school my daughter was in, elementary, because she's in middle school now, the elementary, there was 2 schools combined, and it was a very small campus. I mean, very, very small campus. There was 2 resource officers wandering around, 2 or 3, and a Hillsborough County sheriff's officer was there at all times. And this isn't just my daughter's school. That's the way Hillsborough County does it. They make sure that there is decent amount of security, and a lot of these schools are locked down properly. And we got a notice today. It was an automatic voicemail or voice call. They're going to be holding lockdown drills. Not a simulation, just the teachers are going to, they're going to give something over the speaker. They're going to lock them places into classes, try to block windows, try to block the doors. And then after, how to leave properly from the classroom. And they let all the parents know, and they let them know it's not going to be a simulation. It's going to be like a fire drill. They'll ring the bell or whatever, and everything goes into lockdown. I've talked to my daughter. She's cool with it. She understands it. Hell, a couple weeks ago, they had to go into lockdown. Twice. They had a shooting about a block away. And as soon as something major happens, hell, they had a fire across the street. First thing they did is lock that school down tight. We need more schools like that. there's police activity, lock the school down. And when they lock the school down, I mean they lock it down. I've never had this happen, but I've heard from other ones when they lock down, you can't get your kid. They're in lockdown. I mean, it's almost like prison. You ain't going nowhere. It was somewhere in Hillsborough County. They went into a lockdown. It was just right before school was getting out. So parents were lined up. Not only did they lock the school down, they kicked all the parents out. They had to leave the premises immediately. And that's, you know what? I say bravo. These officers that are in the school, because they're like, oh, my child's going to be scared. It's going to be like a military camp. No, it isn't. Those guys or women are walking around. They talk with the students. You know, they're not there to discipline. That's not their thing. And a lot of times, these kids are walking up to these armed security we have in the school and their resource officers and saying, hey, this is what's going on. X, Y, and Z plans on doing this. I overheard. You know? They would be like, hey, this kid was flashing it. And it's happened. I saw this one have a gun in the backpack. Boom. They go into action. The kids talk to them. They're not scared of them. That's a bunch of parents coming up with a reason not to have them because they know. And I understand our taxes may be a little bit higher in this area. Why? Because we have these resource officers there. You know what? I don't mind paying $1, $2, $10, $100 extra in my taxes to make sure these kids are protected. But it also helped one rich progressive, I got to give him credit, put in a lot of money into Hillsborough County School. Several $1 million. I think the first time was like $15 million. Then he came back around at $100 million. Bill Gates dumped a shitload of money in our school. Now, that doesn't pay for security, but what that does is it opened up funding elsewhere for it. And if these actors and all that are serious, why don't you start taking some of your money and helping out? Because everybody's supposed to be equal. Thank you. Something stuck in my teeth. Is it bad I'm sitting here watching the clock? I mean, I love doing the show, don't get me wrong. And I'm thinking, which project am I going to work on after the show? Am I going to do the Lichtenberg? Or am I going to do the Pens? Not depends. Pens. The Pens. I don't know. I know I got the next set of pens set up. Purple Heart. If you've never seen Purple Heart, look it up. Oh my God. And it's not dyed. The wood is purple. It's beautiful. The only problem is too much pressure, and it burns easy. And I'm having fun with the pens because I learned on a couple of them, it was a very, very, very light, like blonde wood. I just have it on the lathe. There's blue paper towels out there that are Lowe's and some of those stores sell. They're great. They're better than the paper towel we get. They're not cotton. They're not paper. I forget what it is. But when you have something on the lathe, you wrap that around it and you squeeze. And I mean, to the point it burns your hands, literally. And you see smoke coming out. Some of these woods, like this one that was blonde, all of a sudden went black. I heated up the lacquers and everything, all the other little chemical compounds that are in the wood, and it turned it black. And you can see the different, like the grain. It turned out great. I love the pen. Haven't forgot about you, BZ, my friend. I have not forgot about you. Just with being sick and being down, I haven't got all of my pens caught up. Oh, do I do the pens? Do I do the Lichtenberg? Because that is more artistic. And I don't know if I have the wood for that. And if you don't know what that is, like I said, look up the Lichtenberg machine, Lichtenberg. And you're taking my transformer, I believe, is 10,000 volts at 23 milliamps. I have it where I take 2 copper prods and stick it on the wood. I have a solution that I put on the wood, which is just water and baking soda. And you could see the electricity go through the wood. And as it goes through the wood, it's branching out. And there's several ways to explain it. It could either look like a tree with all the leaves falling off. Okay, BZ, I'll make sure I don't announce. I'll let people know that you're out. Trust me, I feel bad I was out, but it seemed like every time I start to feel better, I'd get worse. And I think it was the flu or something. Oh, my God, the pain. And it wasn't just me. My wife wasn't feeling good. Everybody around just didn't. And there's bad cases of flu here in Florida. But the Lichtenberg I was talking about, it looks like lightning almost. Or you could say it's a tree that lost all of its leaves. And the other thing, sometimes, going in for a tune-up. All right. Checking out the muffler. I won't go into that. Just remember, if you're going in for a prostate exam, do you know what the number one thing to look for is? To check is see if he has a Super Bowl ring on. Oh, shit. We're going to take a break. I got to run out to my wife, see if she's still awake. The Flyers just made a trade. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Good evening. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is featured on the SHR Media Network every Tuesday and Thursday night for 2 hours at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. Whilst manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ continues to radically change the world of leftists, one diaper at a time. Stop balancing your checkbooks. Stop cleaning your fish tanks. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is your magnet for truth, justice, obesity, a darkened studio, and late-night freedom. No United States of America freedoms were abridged in the making of this ad.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The Right Guy on SHR Media.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians, a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, clues to the clueless. Sackheads Sean, Sackheads Clint, and Sackheads BZ. The Sackheads Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern on shrmedia.com. Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and the High Plains Pundit Network. The best in late-night conservative talk. The Sackheads Radio Show, only on the SHR Media Network.
Go ahead, I'll say it again.
Some of the best A-roll is going to be B-roll.
Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean, just the last question that you're going to cut a couple seconds? Yeah, I'm a freaking artist. I can't just come up with this shit off the top of my head. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Good point. Exactly right.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the unpleasant blind guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
This is Sam on SHR Media. You can listen to my new show starting on Tuesdays in January. Get my perspective on national politics, a conservative's perspective on California politics, the latest in the war on terror, all of that and a lot more here on Tuesdays at SHR Media. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Sam_SHR Media.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hey, this is Sackhead Clint, and I'm with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead BZ. No communists allowed on the SHR Media Network.
Damn straight, mister.
Back to the show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Pay no attention to the muffled screams in the background. You are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on the SHR Media Network. Back to you, Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Hey, BZ, I just sent you a text message. Wait a minute, there it is. Now it's sending. I wanted to show you one of the pens I did. The pens, not the pens. Every time I say it in my head, it sounds like I'm saying depends. Now, we're going to get to the bomb drop that happened Friday. And that would be the Mueller indictments. Let's see, where is it? Because I know I'm going to find it. Actually, I'm going to go, and I'm going to play, if you're watching on the live stream, I'm going to play the clip from Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein making the announcement on the indictments. If you're listening on SHR Media, you'll be able to listen to it. And BC, tell me, do you guys like light woods or dark woods or funky designs? So I'll make two special. So I just got more kits in. That's the problem when you're doing these pens. The kits, you go through them left, right, and center, but I'm amazed how cheap the kits are. All right, let's get to the video clip. Let's see. Should be that one. I got to turn that on.
Good afternoon. A grand jury in the District of Columbia today returned an indictment presented by the Special Counsel's Office. The indictment charges 13 Russian nationals and 3 Russian companies for committing federal crimes while seeking to interfere in the United States political system, including the 2016 presidential election. The defendants allegedly conducted what they called information warfare against the United States, with the stated goal of spreading distrust towards the candidates and the political system in general. According to the allegations in the indictment, 12 of the individual defendants worked at various times for a company called Internet Research Agency, LLC, a Russian company based in St. Petersburg. The other individual defendant, Yevgeny Viktorovich Prigozhin, funded the conspiracy through companies known as Concord Management and Consulting, LLC, Concord Catering, and many affiliates and subsidiaries. The conspiracy was part of a larger operation called Project Lakta. Project Lakta included multiple components, some involving domestic audiences within the Russian Federation and others targeting foreign audiences in multiple countries. Internet Research Agency allegedly operated through Russian shell companies. It employed hundreds of people in its online operations, ranging from creators of fictitious personas to technical and administrative support personnel, with an annual budget of millions of dollars. Internet Research Agency was a structured organization headed by a management group and arranged into departments, including graphics, search engine optimization, information technology, and finance departments. In 2014, the company established a translator project focused on the United States.
2014.
In July of 2016, more than 80 employees were assigned to the translator project. 2 of the defendants allegedly traveled to the United States in 2014 to collect intelligence for their American influence operations. In order to hide the Russian origins of their activities, the defendants allegedly purchased space on computer servers located here in the United States in order to set up a virtual private network. The defendants allegedly used that infrastructure to establish hundreds of accounts on social media networks such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, making it appear that those accounts were controlled by persons located in the United States. They used stolen or fictitious American identities, fraudulent bank accounts, and false identification documents. The defendants posed as politically and socially active Americans, advocating for and against particular candidates. They established social media pages and groups to communicate with unwitting Americans. They also purchased political advertisements on social media networks. The Russians also recruited and paid real Americans to engage in political activities, promote political campaigns, and stage political rallies. The defendants and their co-conspirators pretended to be grassroots activists. According to the indictment, the Americans did not know that they were communicating with Russians. After the election, the defendants allegedly staged rallies to support the president-elect while simultaneously staging rallies to protest his election. For example, the defendants organized one rally to support the president-elect and another rally to oppose him, both in New York on the same day. On September 13th of 2017, soon after the news media reported that the Special Counsel's Office was investigating evidence that Russian operatives had used social media to interfere with the 2016 election, one defendant allegedly wrote, quote, "We had a slight crisis here at work. The FBI busted our activity. So I got preoccupied with covering tracks together with my colleagues," end quote. The indictment includes 8 criminal counts. Count 1 alleges a criminal conspiracy to defraud the United States by all of the defendants. The defendants allegedly conspired to defraud America by impairing the lawful functions of the Federal Election Commission the United States Department of Justice, and the Department of State. Those organizations of the U.S. government are responsible for administering federal requirements for disclosure of foreign involvement in certain domestic activities. Count 2 charges conspiracy to commit wire fraud and bank fraud by Internet Research Agency and 2 of the individual defendants. And counts 3 through 8 charge aggravated identity theft by Internet Research Agency and 4 individuals. Now, there is no allegation in this indictment that any American was a knowing participant in this illegal activity. There is no allegation in the indictment that the charged conduct altered the outcome of the 2016 election. I want to caution you that everyone charged with a crime is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in court. At trial, prosecutors must introduce credible evidence that is sufficient to prove each defendant guilty beyond any reasonable doubt to a unanimous jury. The special counsel's investigation is ongoing. There will be no comments from the special counsel at this time. This indictment serves as a reminder that people are not always who they appear to be on the internet. The indictment alleges that the Russian conspirators want to promote discord in the United States and undermine public confidence in democracy. We must not allow them to succeed. The Department of Justice will continue to work cooperatively with other law enforcement and intelligence agencies and with the Congress to defend our nation against similar current and future efforts. I want to thank the federal agents and prosecutors who are working on this case for their exceptional service, and I'll be happy to take a few questions.
Is there concern that this indictment will undermine the outcome of the election?
What I've identified for you are the allegations in the indictment. There's no allegation in the indictment of any effect on the outcome of the election. Jessica.
On page 4 of the indictment, paragraph 6, it specifically talks about the Trump campaign, saying that defendants communicated with unwitting individuals associated with the Trump campaign. My question is, later in the indictment, campaign officials are referenced, not by their name, by campaign official 1 or 2 or 3. Were campaign officials cooperative, or were they duped? What was their relationship with this?
Again, there's no allegation in this indictment that any American had any knowledge. And the nature of the scheme was that the defendants took extraordinary steps to make it appear that they were ordinary American political activists, even going so far as to base their activities on a virtual private network here in the United States. So if anybody traced it back to that first jump, they appear to be Americans. Catherine.
One more question. Have you had any assurances from the Russians that they will provide these individuals for prosecution?
No communication with the Russians about this. We'll follow the ordinary process of seeking cooperation.
All this is basically, hang on. What the flim flam's going on? Got everything all backwards over here. All right. It's nothing. This is a big nothing. They started this bullshit collusion and got a independent investigation going. They had to do something. I think this is going towards the end of this investigation because they have nowhere to go. This is the best, but they had to come up with something. What these 13 guys did is no different than what Americans do. Yeah, I love that. There were no Americans involved. Trump was not involved. This came out and said there is no collusion. No collusion. That is what that says. No collusion. This started before Trump. I was actually surprised Adam Schiff came out and even dumped the fault on Obama. But I have a question. What's the difference between what those Russian personnel just did, whether they were instructed by the government of Russia to do it or if they took it upon themselves? What is the difference between that and what the United States has done hundreds of times. Let me see if I can find this. Hold on. I want to read you something. I think it's on my buddies. No, I don't want that. No. Keep hitting the wrong button. Sorry. I didn't know that one. BZ saying that there is more. However, Mueller is going after Manafort again in order to bleed his resources dry. My guess is that Mueller isn't getting what he needs from Manafort. I'm also hearing, I don't know if it's changed, but Flynn may fight his conviction, even though he pled guilty, because the wiretap that was used on him was begotten illegally. Where is, come on, oh, Danny boy. I think this is it. Okay, here we go. Russia personnel tried to interfere with our election, tried to sway both ways, and they tried to create discord in the country. They've done exactly what they were out to do. The Democrats have helped them. The Democrats have helped what the Russians wanted by creating this discord and fighting. But my question, and this was former CIA chief James Woolsey appeared on Fox News to push the narrative of how dastardly Dem Ruskies are and they're meddling with the sacred soul of American democracy. Woolsey did his patriotic deep state duty and proclaimed the evil expansionist Russia and dropped facts like Russia has a larger cyber army than its standing army before he moved on to China and its existential threat. Yeah, I'm getting to that, BZ. Oh, I'm getting to that. And more. So it went back during that debate. Laura Ingrams asked Woolsey, have we tried to meddle in other countries' election? He responded, oh, probably, but it was for the good of the system. For which England followed up, we don't do that now, though. We don't mess around in other people's election, prompting an extraordinary sentence from former CIA chief. Well, only for good causes in the interest of democracy. Goes on, so just to clarify, yes, the CIA chief admitted that democracy spreading America meddled in democratic elections of other nations in the interest of democracy. And in case you're wondering, there is a list here of countries that we have meddled in since 1948. The UK, during the BritX, it was a verbal intervention by Obama and other Democrats. 2014, Afghanistan, effectively rewriting Afghanistan's constitution. 2014, UK, verbally intervention into the Scottish independence. Remember, again, Democrats were sticking their nose in it. 2011, Libya, providing support to overthrow Gaddafi. 2009, Honduras, ousting President, I can't pronounce that name, Zalier. 2006 in Palestine, providing support to oust Prime Minister Hania. In Syria in 2005, providing support against President al-Assad. 2003, Iran, providing support against President whatever. I'm going to stop trying to say these damn names. Holy shit. 2003, Iraq, ousting President Hussein. 2002, Venezuela, providing support to attempt and overthrow President Chavez. 1999, Yugoslavia, removing Yugoslavian forces from Kosovo. 94, Iraq, attempted to overthrow President Hussein. 91, Haiti, ousting the president. 89, Panama, ousting General Noriega. 1983, Grenada, ousting the general's Marxist forces. 82, wait a minute. I forget. Nicaragua, whatever. 1971, Chile, ousting the president. 67, Indonesia, ousting the president. 64, Brazil, ousting the president. 64 again, Chile, providing support against Salvador Allende. 61, Congo, assassination of leader. 54, Guatemala, ousting a president. 53, Iran, ousting Prime Minister. 53, Philippines, providing support to the president's campaign. 48, Italy, providing support to the Christian Democratic campaign. We have been sticking our nose, and it didn't put in there how we just recently tried to mess with Israel's election. Obama did not like Netanyahu, so he tried to get him unelected. We have been interfering, and I'm not trying to say, it's okay for Russia to do it, but we can't sit here and act all surprised and all, oh my God, when we've done the exact same. Those in glass houses should not throw stones. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Good evening. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is featured on the SHR Media Network every Tuesday and Thursday night for 2 hours at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. Whilst manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ continues to radically change the world of leftists, one diaper at a time. Stop balancing your checkbooks. Stop cleaning your fish tanks. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is your magnet for truth, justice, obesity, a darkened studio, and late-night freedom. No United States of America freedoms were abridged in the making of this ad.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians, a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, clues to the clueless. Sackheads Sean, Sackheads Clint, and Sackheads BZ. The Sackheads Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern on shrmedia.com. Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and the High Plains Pundit Network. The best in late-night conservative talk. The Sackheads Radio Show, only on the SHR Media Network.
Go ahead, I'll say it again. Some of the best A-roll is going to be B-roll. Like, what artist. I can't just come up with this shit off the top of my head. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Good point. Exactly right.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics,
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
and all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events? All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
This is Sam on SHR Media. You can listen to my new show starting on Tuesdays in January. Get my perspective on national politics, a conservative's perspective on California politics, the latest in the war on terror, all of that and a lot more here on Tuesdays at SHR Media. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Sam_SHR Media.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hey, this is Sackhead Clint, and I'm with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead BZ. No communists allowed on the SHR Media Network.
Damn straight, mister.
Back to the show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Pay no attention to the muffled screams in the background. You are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on the SHR Media Network. Back to you, Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am just amazed at everything going on. Obama did a number on this country. When he said he was going to tear it down, oh, did he tear it down? All right, we're going to go on to a couple other articles I came across. But just understand, this Mueller indictment basically vindicated Trump. I know there's still, Mueller might try something with Manafort, but it's running on fumes, this investigation. There's nothing there. There is zero evidence, and it still pisses me off that investigation was started on accusations. No proof, no evidence, just verbal accusations, and we started an investigation. I've seen where there's evidence of wrongdoing, and there's no investigation. But Attorney General Jeff Sessions said Sunday that the Department of Justice is investigating whether the FBI submitted accurate information about the infamous Steele dossier in order to obtain a surveillance warrant against former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. It was asked, are you, sir, investigating the fact that the FBI used the dossier to get a wiretap against Trump associates, and they did not tell the FISA court that the Democrats and Hillary Clinton paid for the dossier? Sessions comes back. Let me tell you, every FISA warrant based on facts submitted to the court have to be accurate. That will be investigated and looked at. We are not going to participate as a Department of Justice in providing anything less than a proper disclosure to the courts before they issue a FISA warrant. Other than that, I'm not going to talk about the details of it, but I tell you, we're not going to let that happen. He would not give any details in the investigation, which has been urged by Republican lawmakers. Everybody pretty much knows. I'm not going to get into the rest of the article, which talks about in October, the FBI and Justice Department submitting an application. We all know what happened. They went forth with fake information and lied to the courts. Democrat Senator Casey is from Pennsylvania warned FBI Special Counsel Robert Mueller not to release his Russian collusion report until after the 2018 elections are over. He warned them. Don't you do that. I don't think we'll know anything near the full story until Mueller issues his report. I don't know if that report will be this spring or this summer. But once you get into the summer and you get close to the elections, I think it's a mistake for him to release it late. I think you should wait until after the election so that the people don't know what the hell's going on. Because he knows what's going to be in that report. And it's not going to be good for the Democrat. So he wants it to come out after the elections so they won't suffer for their actions. And that's exactly what it is. He knows that report will be damning for the Democrats. And if it comes out anywhere near election time and people hear it, a lot of Democrats are going to lose their job. I don't know. It just amazed me, the audacity. And this one I found funny, this article. CBS's Nancy Cortez to John Podesta. How is it that the Russian operatives knew to focus on purple states and your campaign didn't? She basically smacked John Podesta right in his face, saying, you didn't deal with these purple states, that's why you lost. And they're talking about Michigan and Wisconsin, and it was ignored by the Clinton campaign. Now, she poses the question, but it does beg the question, how is it that these Russian operatives knew to focus on purple states like Michigan and Wisconsin, and your campaign didn't? Well, of course, we spend a lot of time and energy and effort in all states. Response from Cortez, Hillary Clinton herself did not spend much time in those states. Podesta, well, we had Tim Kaine was there, Barack was there, and she spent enormous time in Pennsylvania and Michigan. Cortez, sure. Podesta went on to go on, and we spent a lot of effort. We had more staff in Wisconsin that even President Barack Obama had in 2012. But I think that begs the question. I think we focused on the places we thought were in a contest. And at the end of the day, we fell short in those states. And I think that these active measure efforts by Russia could have tilted the election in Donald Trump's favor. No. Your failure to go there. Your failure as a campaign manager was deafening. And I just want to get to the title of one more article, and then I'm going to get going because I'm losing my voice. I don't know where I lost it. Maybe I'll find it later. Facebook VP says Russian ads buys were not to sway outcome of the election, and most of them came after the election. And where's the money part in this article they talk about? Hang on. Oh, Nikes. Where is it? For half the ads, less than $3 was spent. For the rest, less than $1,000 was spent. 5% of the ads also appeared on Instagram. They didn't have to spend a lot of money. And that's kind of funny. Exactly, BZ. It was after. And I originally heard it was just the anti-Trump. Now I'm finding out they were doing the pro-Trump and anti-Trump. I think they just threw that in there, the pro-Trump. I'd like to see the actual facts on that. I really would, because I just don't see it. Sorry. Listen, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, bright and early, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit, and I will see you again. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.